Hello everyone, I am Shailendra Madavi, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Shri RLD College of Science, Akola. Here, I am going to discuss about various topic of life science according to NET and SET point of view. See, preparing for NET and SET is all about understanding the concepts and applying at right places. We will try to understand basic concepts of various topic and try to apply at various stages. So let's start with some topics. So today I am going to talk about plant physiology. In that I will discuss about photosynthesis. You may have seen that there are number of questions in question paper while preparing for NET and SET exam. So let's start with photosynthesis. So first of all, we will discuss about some basic concepts of photosynthesis. So we know that growth, development, reproduction and metabolism are the major properties of every organism. And for all these activities, these organisms require an energy. So sun is the ultimate source of energy to all living organisms. But no organism can utilize this energy directly as it is a physical energy. Plants and some bacteria has ability to harvest the solar energy with the help of a fundamental process that is called as photosynthesis. In this process, the physical energy of the sun is converted into a chemical energy. The process of photosynthesis can be represented by a simple chemical reaction as shown below. But it is not so simple as the given reaction. Actually, in photosynthesis, the solar energy, which is in the form of physical energy, used to produce ATP and NADPH. And then ATP and NADPH, which are the forms of chemical energy, are utilized to synthesize carbohydrate, which are again the form of chemical energy. The entire process of photosynthesis in higher plants takes place in a specialized tissue that is called as mesophyll cells, especially in the leaves, which contains the large number of chloroplasts. This chloroplast contains specialized light absorbing green pigments called as chlorophylls. In the beginning of 20th century, it was realized that light has properties of both, that is particles and waves. A wave is characterized by wavelength and denoted by a Greek letter lambda. The wavelength is distance between the successive wave crests. The frequency is the number of wave crests that pass on observer in a given time. It is denoted by a Greek letter nu. The light is again in the form of particles, and the particle form of light is called as photons. Each photon contains an amount of energy which is called as quantum. The sunlight spread like a rain of photons of different frequencies. But our eyes are sensitive to only a narrow range of wavelength radiation. This region is called as visible spectrum. This visible spectrum extends from 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. It also shows light of different colors like violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. At the right side of visible spectrum, there are regions of infrared, microwave and radio waves, and at the left side there are regions of ultraviolet, X-rays and gamma rays. There is a great relationship between wavelength, frequency and energy of light. That is, wavelength is inversely proportional to frequency and light. It means short wavelength light has high frequency and high energy, while the long wavelength light has low frequency and low energy. When a sun releases its light, very small amount of light reaches to Earth's surface, among which again a very small amount of light is absorbed by the plant. and a large amount of light gets reflected. The amount of light energy absorbed by the molecule is displayed as an absorption spectrum, and it is measured by a spectrophotometer. Here, if we talk about the chlorophyll, it appears green to our eyes because it absorbs light mainly in red and blue part of the spectrum, and it reflects the light of green wavelength. Now, when a molecule absorbs a light, the electronic state of that molecule changes. In photosynthesis, when chlorophyll in its ground state absorbs a photon, and then the chlorophyll changes its state to the excited state. In higher energy state, the chlorophyll becomes extremely unstable. It rapidly gives up some of its energy to the surrounding as a heat and enters in lowest energy state. Now, the excited chlorophyll has four alternative pathways for disposing its available energy. In the first pathway, the excited chlorophyll can re-emit a photon and enter to its ground state. This process is called as fluorescence. In the second pathway, the excited chlorophyll can return to its ground state by directly converting its excited energy into a heat without emission of photon. In the third pathway, the excited chlorophyll may participate in energy transfer, during which it transfers its energy to another molecule. The fourth pathway is photochemistry, in which excited state energy causes chemical reaction. The photosynthesis is an example of this photochemistry. The energy of sunlight required for photosynthesis is first absorbed by pigments of plant. All the pigments required for photosynthesis are found in chloroplast. Different pigments absorb the light of different wavelength, but in higher plants and algae, chlorophylls, and in bacteria, bacteriochlorophylls are the most important for photosynthesis. These are called as essential pigments. Different types of carotenoids are found in photosynthetic organisms. These pigments absorb the light in 400 to 500 nanometer range. In thylakoid membrane of chloroplast, these carotenoids are associated with antenna and reaction center pigment proteins. They absorb the light and transfer the energy to the chlorophyll. That's why these pigments are called as accessory pigments. The graph shows that different pigments absorb the light at different wavelength. It means they have different absorption spectrum. The amount of absorption shows different level of action of pigment. It can be represented by action spectrum. The action spectrum represents the magnitude of response of a biological system to a light as a function of wavelength. The action spectrum is important to understand the amount of photosynthesis. Number of experiments have been carried out to show relationship between absorption and action spectrum. But the experiment carried out by T.W. Engelmann reveals the relationship between absorption and action spectrum. In this experiment, Engelmann projected a spectrum of light on the spiral chloroplast of filamentous green algae Spirogyra and observed that oxygen-seeking bacteria introduced in the system in the region of spectrum where chlorophyll pigment absorbed. The action spectrum drawn from this experiment gives first indication of effect of light absorbed by accessory pigment in the photosynthesis. Now we talk about an important topic, that is light harvesting complex. The process of photosynthesis takes place in a light harvesting complex which contains light harvesting antenna and a photochemical reaction center. Many pigments serve as antenna complex. They collect the light and transfer its energy to the reaction center. The reaction center is nothing but a special chlorophyll molecule which absorb energy from antenna complex and get excited. The excited chlorophyll transfer the electron to nearby acceptor molecule. The electron donor reduces the excited chlorophyll again by donating the electrons. The entire process of photosynthesis is divided into two parts, that is light reaction and dark reaction. The reaction in which there is requirement of light, it is called as light reaction or light dependent reaction, while there is a process which does not require light, it is called as dark reaction. And today we will discuss about light reaction of photosynthesis. The overall process of photosynthesis is a redox reaction in which number of oxidation and reduction reactions takes place. During this process, electrons are removed from one chemical species, thereby oxidizing it, and added to another species, thereby reducing it. In 1937, Robert Hill found that in light isolated chloroplast, thallocoid reduces variety of compounds such as iron as given in reaction. Now we know that in light reaction of photosynthesis, light reduces nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, that is NADP, to NADPH, and this NADPH serve as reducing agent for carbon fixation in Kelvin cycle or dark reaction. In both reactions, there is synthesis of ATP takes place. The reduction of NADP takes place in electron transport chain in thallocoid membrane. That's why it is called as thallocoid reaction, while carbon fixation reaction takes place in stroma. That's why it is called as stroma reaction. The process of photosynthesis takes place in a particular platform which is called as photosystems. In photosynthesis, two photosystems, namely photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, operates in series. It was a puzzle until last 1950s, till Emerson carried out an experiment. One of the experiment by Emerson is called as Emerson's enhancement effect, shows that these two photosystems which operates in series in photosynthesis. In this experiment, Emerson measured the rate of photosynthesis separately with light of two different wavelengths, and then he used two beams simultaneously. From this experiment, he found that when red and far red lights were given together, the rate of photosynthesis was greater than the sum of individual rate. These observations were eventually explained by number of experiments performed in late 1960s that reveals the discovery of two photochemical complexes, that is known as photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. The photosystem 1 preferentially absorbs far red light of wavelength greater than 680 nanometer, that is near about 700 nanometer. So it is called as P700. While the photosystem 2 preferentially absorbs red light of 680 nanometer, so it is called as P680. There is another difference between PS1 and PS2, that is the photosystem 1 produces a strong reductant capable of reducing NADP plus and weak oxidant, while the photosystem 2 produces a very strong oxidant capable of oxidizing water and weaker reductant. The entire process of photosynthesis takes place in a specialized organelle of cell. In photosynthetic eukaryotic organism, it takes place in chloroplast. We know that the chloroplast has two membranes, that is outer membrane and inner membrane. The chloroplast has specialized structure which are stacked one upon the other, and it has extensive system of internal membrane that is called as thylakoid. All the chlorophyll is contained in this thylakoid, and it is the site of light reaction of photosynthesis. The fluid region of chloroplast outside the thylakoid is called as stroma, which is the site of dark reaction of photosynthesis. The stacked membrane are called as grana or grana lamellae, while the unstacked membrane are called as stroma lamellae. The chloroplast has its own DNA, RNA, and ribosomes. The thylakoid membrane possesses a wide varieties of proteins essential for photosynthesis. Many proteins have their some portion extended into the aqueous region on both sides of thylakoid. These proteins are called as integral proteins. The reaction centers, antenna pigment protein complexes, and most of the electron transport enzymes are all integral membrane proteins. There is a characteristic arrangement of all the photosystem and required proteins. The photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 are specially separated in the thylakoid membrane. The photosystem 2 reaction center, along with its antenna complexes and associated electron transport protein, is predominantly located in the grana lamellae, while the photosystem 1 reaction center, along with its antenna pigments and electron transport protein as well as ATP synthase enzyme are found exclusively in the unstacked region or stroma lamellae. The cytochrome B6F complex of electron transport chain, which connects both photosystem, is evenly distributed among the stroma and grana region. Now we will discuss about an important topic, that is mechanism of electron transport in photosynthesis. There are four major events takes place in electron transport chain in thylakoid membrane, and these events are carried out by four protein complexes. Number 1, water is oxidized and protons are released in lumen by photosystem 2. Number 2, cytochrome B6F complex accepts electron from photosystem 2 and transferred to photosystem 1. This complex also releases protons in the lumen. Number 3, photosystem 1 reduces NADP plus to NADPH in stroma via the action of ferredoxin and flavoprotein ferredoxin NADP reductase. Number 4, the proton gradient produced due to action of PS2 and cytochrome B6F complex causes diffusion of protons through ATP synthase, which leads to synthesis of ATP in stroma. We will discuss all these events one by one. So first one is electron transport. When light falls on chlorophyll pigment, it gets excited, and the excited chlorophyll molecule donates its electron to nearby pheophytin molecule. Now pheophytin has ability to redonate its electron to the chlorophyll of P680, but in a properly functioning photosynthesis it does not take place. Instead, it donates its electron to nearby quinol molecules and so on in the electron transport chain. Now P680 is become a strong oxidant. It requires an electron to become reduced, so it gets electron from water molecule by splitting it into oxygen and hydrogen. It takes place with the help of a particular complex that is called as oxygen evolving complex. The same reaction takes place in P700 or photosystem 2. In this, the photosystem also gets energy from the nearby antenna complexes, and it gets excited. The excited P700 chlorophyll molecule donates its electron to the nearby molecules and eventually it reduces NADP plus to produce NADPH. There are number of reactions takes place in electron transport chain. We will discuss all of them one by one in details. One of the important reaction takes place is oxidation of water molecule to oxygen and proton. It takes place by following reaction. This equation indicates that 4 electrons are removed from 2 water molecules generating an oxygen molecule and 4 hydrogen ions. We know that water is very stable molecule and it is very difficult to oxidize water to a molecular oxygen, but photosynthetic oxygen evolving complex is only known biological system that carries out this reaction. The protons produced by water oxidation released into the lumen of thalloid. These protons are eventually transferred from the lumen to the stroma through ATP synthase enzyme, which contributes to synthesize ATP in the stroma. It has been known for many years that manganese is an essential factor in water oxidizing process. In oxygen evolving complex, the manganese ion undergoes a series of oxidation states that are called as S states, and these states are labeled as S0, S1, S2, S3, S4. Other experiments have shown that chlorine and calcium ions are also essential for oxygen evolution. There is one electron carrier called as YZ, functions between oxygen evolving complex and photosystem 2. One more important reaction takes place in electron transport chain is acceptance of electron by the pheophytin and 2-quinone from photosystem 2. There are number of evidences from several studies indicate that pheophytin act as an early acceptor in photosystem 2 followed by a complex of 2 plastoquinones. Pheophytin is nothing but a chlorophyll in which a central magnesium ion is replaced by 2 hydrogen atoms. If you remember the structure of chlorophyll A, it has porphyrin-like ring structure and a magnesium ion at the center with a long hydrophobic tail. These chemical changes gives pheophytin chemical and spectral properties that are slightly different from chlorophyll. 2 plastoquinones, that is quinol A and quinol B, are bound to the reaction center and receives electron from pheophytin in the sequential fashion. The transfer of 2 electron to quinol B reduced to plastosemiquinone, and the reduced plastosemiquinone takes 2 proton from the stroma side of the medium and fully reduced to plastohydroquinone. So the cytochrome B6F complex is a multi-subunit protein having several prosthetic groups. It contains 2 B-type heme and 1 C-type heme, that is cytochrome F. In addition, the complex contains risky iron sulfur protein in which 2 iron atoms are bridged by 2 sulfur atoms. The name is given on the name of scientist who discovered it. The way by which electron flow through this cytochrome B6F complex is not yet fully understood, but this mechanism is called as Q cycle. In this mechanism, the plastoquinone is oxidized and one of the 2 electron is passed to the electron transport chain towards the photosystem 1 and the other electron goes through cyclic process. This process increases the number of protons pumped across the membrane. One more important event in the electron transport chain is carrying of electron between photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. We know that both photosystems are separately located on the thalloid membrane. Photosystem 2 is located in the stacked region while the photosystem 1 is located at unstacked region, and for the transport of electron between these two photosystems they require at least one of them to be moved. Cytochrome B6 F complex is equally distributed between the grana and stroma region, but due to its large size it does not move along these regions. So plastoquinone or plastocyanin are thought to serve as electron carrier between these photosystems. Plastocyanin is a small water soluble copper containing protein that transfers electron between cytochrome B6 F complex and photosystem 1. This protein is found in lumen space. Another important reaction is reduction of NADP plus to NADPH by photosystem 1 reaction center. The photosystem 1 reaction center is a large multi-subunit complex. It has a core antenna complex consisting of 100 chlorophylls and a reaction center P700. The components of P700 reaction center are organized around two major proteins, that is PSAA and PSAB. There are number of minor proteins like PSAC to PSAN, which are here labeled as C to N. Here the electrons are transferred from plastocyanin to P700 and then to a chlorophyll molecule A0, phylloquinone A1 to FES center, and finally to the soluble iron sulfur protein called as ferredoxin. Then the membrane associated ferroprotein ferredoxin NADP reductase reduces NADP plus to NADPH. Thus it completes the sequence of non-cyclic electron transport that begins with the oxidation of water. Now there are number of inhibitors which inhibit the flow of electron in electron transport chain. We know the use of herbicides to kill unwanted plants. Different type of herbicides have been developed that acts by blocking amino acid, carotenoids, lipid biosynthesis, or by disrupting cell division. But some herbicides like DCMU and paraquat are known to block photosynthetic electron flow. DCMU is also known as diuron. DCMU acts by blocking electron flow at quinone acceptor for photosystem 2, while the paraquat acts by accepting electron from early acceptor of photosystem 1. Then this paraquat reacts with oxygen to form superoxides. It is a species that is very damaging to chloroplast components, especially the lipids. One more important reaction takes place in the photosynthesis is synthesis of ATP in chloroplast. We have seen that captured light energy is used to reduce NADP plus to NADPH, but another fraction of captured light energy is used for light dependent ATP synthesis. This process is called as photophosphorylation. This process was discovered by Daniel Arnon and his co-worker in 1950s. In normal cellular condition, photophosphorylation requires electron flow, while under some conditions photophosphorylation and electron flow can take place independent of each other. The electron flow without the accompanying photophosphorylation is called as uncoupled. Now it is widely accepted that photophosphorylation works via chemiosmotic mechanism, which was first proposed by Peter Michel. Protons pump across the membrane by cytochrome B6F complex or proton produced by water oxidation creates a proton gradient or chemical potential across the membrane. The chemical gradient or chemical potential created by these protons rotates this ATP synthase enzyme, which leads to production of ATP. Photosynthetic system faces a special challenges. They are designed to absorb large amount of light energy and process into a chemical energy. At the molecular level, the energy in a photon can be damaging, particularly under unfavorable condition. So, there is need of repair and regulation of photosynthetic machinery. This is known as photoprotective mechanism. In excess, light energy can lead to production of toxic species such as peroxides, superoxides, singlet oxygen, etc. And damage can occur if the light energy is not dissipated safely. Photosynthetic organisms therefore contain a complex regulatory and repair mechanism. Some of these mechanisms regulates energy flow in antenna system to avoid excess excitation of reaction center and ensure that both photosystem equally drives. Although very effective, these processes are not entirely fail-safe and sometimes toxic compounds are produced. That's why additional mechanisms are needed to dissipate the compounds. More such photoprotective mechanism is played by carotenoids. The extremely reactive singlet oxygen goes on to react with and damage many cellular components. The carotenoids exert their photoprotective action by rapidly quenching excited state of chlorophyll. Now, the carotenoids get excited, but the excited state of carotenoid does not have sufficient energy to form a singlet oxygen, so it decay back to its ground state. Three carotenoids called as xanthophylls plays an important role in non-photochemical quenching by interconversion. In high light condition, viola xanthin converts into zeaxanthin via the intermediate anthera-xanthin, and when the light intensity decreases, the process is reversed. This reaction is carried out by the enzyme viola xanthin deepoxidase. This is the picture of overall regulation of protection and regulation of photo damage. The first line of defense is suppression mechanism, in which excess energy is lost in the form of heat. If this defense is not sufficient, the toxic products will form and the variety of scavenging systems will form to eliminate the photo productions. If second line also fail, the photo products can damage D1 protein of photosystem 2. The D1 protein then released from the photosystem 2 reaction center and degraded. This will lead to photo inhibition. One more photoprotective mechanism is carried out by energy shifting between the photosystems. We know that the light intensity does not remain equal throughout the day. In that case, only one photosystem remains active. In this situation, shifting of energy from one photosystem to the another helps to activate both the photosystems. When the light harvesting complex 2 is not phosphorylated, it delivers more energy to photosystem 2, and when it is phosphorylated, it delivers more energy to photosystem 1. The phosphorylated light harvesting complex 2 then migrate out of the stacked region of the membrane into the unstacked region. The activity of LHC2 are termed as states, that is state 1 and state 2. So this is all about light reaction of photosynthesis. We will talk about dark reaction in next session. So thank you very much.